Good evening, folks. Welcome. It's a lovely Saturday evening from where I sit. How are you all doing? It's good to be here. The second day in November. This year is about to end. We've got only 2 more months, November and December, and then the year is done. How are you all doing, folks? I pray you all are doing great. I pray you all are doing fantastic, as am I. So we're gonna wait until we have 1,000 people on before we begin to talk. But in the meantime, let's just chat and share the podcast, if you will. So I am a Liberian citizen, as are most of you watching, if not every one of you watching. And as such, what happens in the country affects us all. And I don't have to deal with it as a political actor, but just as a private citizen. So, good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. How are you all doing? I'm doing well. I've been in the country for a while now. I went back briefly in August for 2 weeks. I came back at the end of August, and I have been here minding my business and trying to do what I can do. Yeah. It's good to have you all. Yeah. You know, when I made the post that I was going to go live, I saw some comments and people were like, yeah, Costa coming back small. I don't think you're ever going to have Henry Costa, the talk show host, back. I don't think you're going to have that. You're going to have Henry Costa, the private citizen, the businessman, who from time to time comes on, speaks to issues that are important to himself and to, you know, the country. You're going to always have that. And then, of course, eventually we're going to make a return to the political arena. I'm a political animal, through and through. I could not shake it off. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Even when I'm not talking, I am observing, I am analyzing, because it's just second nature to me. It comes to me effortlessly. Yeah. I want to say good evening to lots of you. We've been on. We've got over 800 people in under 3 minutes. 800 people. We're going to 1,000. And I want to say congratulations to my darling princess, Martina Konate. Congratulations to Yusuf Sirleaf. Congratulations to my Savior Zeh, who all of you graduated a few days ago from the AME Zion University with your bachelor's degrees. I'm very proud of you all. Brother Moiba Sirleaf, today's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. I wish you the very best. So I said we will start speaking when we have 1,000 people. We're at 961 people, so we will soon get to 1,000 people. Yeah, it's lovely to be here. Lovely to be here. I hope you all are having a lovely Saturday, as am I. You know, I don't go out much. You know, I mind my business. I stay home. You know, and do very little outing. Where they said to go in Liberia, the same old player, you go Terran. Everybody goes to the same player, Terran. So let's see. I think where are we now? So how are you all doing, man? You're all doing good? So Pastor Jerry, is it or easy? Pastor Jerry is in Liberia. I think he's a great man of God. Liberian people let God business, but we get live properly. Our God business strong, but we get live properly. But our God business strong. It's a good thing. It's good to love God. No one is perfect. God knows that. But you know, yeah. So it's good. It's very, very good. And when you see all those people going to the stadium, many people can't be on here because they're at the stadium. When they come out, they're gonna watch it later on. So yeah, but it's good. Let's see, where are we now? Are we at 1,000? I said I will begin to speak when we hit 1,000 people. So we've been on now for 6 minutes. Let's see. I don't see the number updating on the screen. Huh? Yeah. We're at 1,000 people now. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, good evening, folks. I'm Henry Pedro Costa. It's very good to be here, as usual. As I said, I made a pledge that I was going to be speaking from time to time on issues in the country, issues that are important, issues that affect all of us as a people. And I was going to try to take the non-partisan approach whenever I discuss these issues. You know, that is the approach that I intend, and I intend to stick to that commitment. And what's happening on Capitol Hill is very, very serious. It's critical. It affects the entire governance structure and system of our country, and as such, it's a very serious issue. And so I'm coming today with you, to you, from a non-partisan approach. I do not support the government, and I do not support the opposition. I'm a Liberian citizen, and I'm speaking to you as a Liberian citizen. So what I'm going to share with you are simply my views on the various aspects and angles of this particular issue, what's happening. Now, we went to elections in 2023. We had a very interesting election, passed off nearly peacefully, in a peaceful manner. We had smooth democratic transition. Joseph Boakai became president. His Excellency George Weah, former president, gave way, smooth transition. Before President Boakai was inaugurated, we had another election, the speakership election. We also had the pro-tempore election, but we had the speakership election. The speaker, as per our constitution, is the third most powerful person in the country. Actually, in practice, the speaker is the second most powerful person in the country, not even third. The speaker has more powers than the vice president. The vice president is a nominal role. You're basically sitting there to aid the president. You attend ceremonies, you do ribbon cutting, you make speeches. Nobody really listens to you, nobody really cares about you. But the speaker, on the other hand, is very important. Because the speaker is the head of the first branch of government, the legislature. And so everybody understands that and understands how very powerful the role of the legislature is, and you know, by extension, the speaker. So we had a speakership election. Some of us felt that you know, Speaker Anti-Koffa, now Speaker Anti-Koffa, was going to win, and that he was the best suited person to become speaker. He won the race. He is speaker. 9 months later, a number of his colleagues who voted for him, canvassed for him, are saying they want the speaker out. Why? They can't really say. They're saying things that they should have known ever since, or they could have said ever since. But here's what you need to know. The fight on Capitol Hill is not about you. It is about them. It is about them. The fight to remove the speaker is not about Mawata selling in Douala Market or Oben Tobakwali in Bon County. It is not about him. It is not about her. It is about them. We have a political cartel in this country. Government after government, there are individuals in government who would do anything to protect their interests, amass as much wealth at the expense of the people through the national budget, particularly in this case, to prepare themselves for the next election cycle. And that is exactly what this fight is about. Koffa becomes speaker, and what does he do? He commits himself to a reform agenda. He says he's going to ensure that there is accountability in the legislature and things are no longer done the way they used to be done. We're already beginning to see some of these reforms taking shape. What does he do? For the first time, perhaps in our lifetime, the speaker makes moves to have the legislature, particularly the House of Representatives, audited. That is where the problem came from. How dare he try to have an audit of the House of Representatives? Because lots of people are going to get exposed. Now, the people who are behind this are all individuals who are going to be affected by the audit. The ringleaders, at least. You know, there are always some people who will just tag along. You know, a few people with their own machinations up their sleeves would convince other people to connive with them so that they can upstage the leadership because it benefits them. And those other people, I'm sorry to call them, they're sheep. They just tag along. That's what it is. But here is what is unfair about all of this. These people just recently received $45,000 each of them to buy a brand new vehicle. We, the Liberian people, bought each of these people a brand new vehicle costing us $45,000 US. Yeah, you recall a few months ago when they were making noise that they hadn't gotten the money for their vehicles, some of them went ahead and rode in kekes and drove their kekes or had people drive them in kekes to the premises of the legislature as a sign of protest that they hadn't received their monies to procure their vehicles. We spent millions of dollars, well over $3 million for the House of Representatives alone to procure vehicles for these lawmakers. Some of these people came from nowhere. Like most of us in this country, we're poor, right? So most people are very poor. They come from nowhere. Imagine coming from selling in Waterside Market, you become a representative. You've never owned a vehicle in your life, and all of a sudden, we buy you a brand new $45,000 vehicle, and we say to you, every 3 years, we're going to buy you a brand new $45,000 vehicle. Imagine that. Now, most Liberians, the 5 million of you, will never, ever own a vehicle in your life, let alone a $45,000 vehicle. Most of you will never own that. But every 3 years, we purchase for these buggers brand new vehicles costing $45,000. They just got the money. They got their gas. They got their pay. And then guess what? These unserious jokers decided they would not go to work. No, they would not go to work. They were grumbling to receive their vehicles and their gasoline, but then when they get them, they decide they're not going to go to work. How dare these people think that they can receive their benefits that they feel entitled to, but they don't feel obligated to serve us, the Liberian people, who pay them those very benefits that they demanded? Now, that is a question you need to ask yourself. Those of you who are thinking that they are fighting for you, they're not fighting for you. This fight to remove the speaker, which will fail. And I will tell you why it's going to fail. And I know a lot. And I'm going to tell you a lot tonight. It is going to fail for several reasons. Every single time in the last 20 years in this country's history, a speaker has been removed or the president pro tempore has been removed. It originated, it was masterminded, originated, prosecuted, or orchestrated by the presidency. Every single time. But guess what? In the case of Anti-Koffa, this is the first time that the sitting president of the republic does not support the removal of the speaker. I speak with authority on this particular matter. And that is perhaps one of the reasons why Fonati will survive this. Joseph Boakai is not your typical politician. Fonati works well with him. Why does he want Fonati out? He does not. He absolutely does not want him out. Because Anti-Koffa is not a radical, unreasonable person. He is a speaker who comes from the opposition, is loyal to his party, but at the same time is loyal to his oath as speaker, and he works with the executive to execute his duties in a way that is responsible and consistent with law. So when I heard about this thing, I'm going to tell you something just a little bit. When the news broke, that Friday, you recall that day? It was on a Thursday. When they had the petition going about and they said they were about to hold session to announce that they were removing the speaker, I reached out to lots of people around the president. Then I reached out to the president himself. That's when we saw the video of them dividing money. And I said to the president, I said, Mr. President, do you see this? Rescue lawmakers, people belonging to your bloc, are receiving and distributing monies to remove the speaker. I mean, this looks very bad. Why the Liberian people are suffering? But the president didn't respond. The next day, the president responded. Oh my God, the president said, why would I bring myself that low to be engaged in infantile behavior? Those were his words. He said, why would I try to remove a speaker who works well with me? And to be honest, I believed him. But I trusted his words, but I went to verify with the people around the president. And yes, it is true that Joseph Human Boakai was not involved. He never supported it. He is against it. He thinks it embarrasses his administration. He's got his budget, which is about to be submitted. He's asked for an extension for it to be submitted on November the 8th. And now, when that budget is submitted, where is the House of Representatives to preside over that budget, deal with that budget as is required by law, and pass that budget so that the president's quote-unquote rescue agenda can be effectuated and financed through the people's budget? He's pissed. But let me tell you what happened. This was orchestrated by elements in the CDC and elements in the Unity Party, the president's camp. The president asked the speaker to join him in Rome because he was going to meet the Pope Francis, in the Vatican. Anti-Koffa is a devout Catholic. And so he saw it as a great opportunity to join the president, in what could be deemed as a pilgrimage to meet the Holy Father. So he went there. And whilst Fonati was with the president meeting Pope Francis, some of the president's own people, including but not limited to the vice president of the republic, Jeremiah Koung, were orchestrating and prosecuting a sinister clandestine plan to remove the speaker. See how embarrassing that was. And to the ordinary Liberian, they interpreted it as the president took the man away to Rome so that behind the man's back, his people can carry out this evil plan to remove the man. But that wasn't it. No. Blame Joe Boakai for many things, but not that one. He wasn't a part of that. And so they failed that day to carry out the plan to remove the speaker. And then when the president returned, peeved, as he legitimately should have been, then the vice president went to the speaker. Some of you might have seen, this was the first time Vice President Koung went to the airport to receive his boss. When Joe Boakai returned from the room trip, he returned on a Saturday. Vice President Koung went to the airport with the rest of the folks to receive the president because he knew his boss was pissed. How dare you stage a coup d'etat behind my back against the speaker after I had asked the men to join me in room? It would look like I did it. It would look like I sanctioned it. How dare you do that? He went to the airport for the first time, trying to pacify and placate the old man. Then he followed the old man to his house. Then he went back there in the morning, the next morning. Then he went back there again. Then he went back there again, and again, trying to convince Joe Boakai to back this. I have no reason to lie on Jeremiah Koung. Absolutely no reason. Jeremiah Koung is a very dangerous guy. And what Koung needs to realize is that this presidency is Joe Boakai's presidency. It is not your presidency. Joe Boakai won because of the work lots of people put in, myself included. I led the charge. To see you trying to undermine him when he has just started leading as president, all you care about is that you yourself would become president. That all you care about? You're not focused on the president's agenda. All you care about, you're trying to undermine, remove the speaker so that you can put a puppet speaker there so that you all can continue to do what you do, steal through the national budget. That's what they do. That's what they do. And to the folks in the CDC, I'm going to say this to you. You all need to stop with this nonsense. Accusing Joe Boakai of being behind the plan to remove the speaker when a good number of your representatives are in this coup to remove your own speaker. You should just stop. You are embarrassing yourselves. You are embarrassing yourselves. And you all know this. You are embarrassing yourselves. George Weah has tried his best to get CDC lawmakers to come to their senses and pull themselves out of this madness. They would not listen to him. George Weah tried his best with Thomas Fowler. I'm going to get to him. Thomas Fowler, in 2005, when he became elected representative, he was selling planks. Not that there's anything wrong with selling planks. I would just like you to know the man's history, his antecedents, where he came from. From the humblest of backgrounds. Thomas Fowler was in red light selling planks when CDC put him on their ticket and he became representative. This Thomas Fowler is today, since 2005 to now, about 20 years, has become a multi-millionaire. He owns a university, several radio stations in Montserrat and in Lofa, several real estate properties all over the place. He owns a trucking business. He's a very rich man. He moved after serving 3 terms in the House of Representatives. He crossed over to Lofa County, to Foya, set up shop, spent lots of money that he stole, and guess what? He became representative there. The reason Thomas Fowler is brave to disobey George Weah, the man who made him, is because he no longer needs George Weah. That's what some of you don't understand. George Weah cannot help Thomas Fowler or hurt Thomas Fowler in Foya district. He cannot. No. Thomas Fowler brought lots of votes to George Weah from Foya. For the first time CDC won Foya district, it was not because of George Weah. It was because of Thomas Fowler. With all his stolen money that Thomas Fowler made, thanks to the CDC helping him, and thanks to him and Jeremiah Koung being on the budget committee. Fellow Liberians, let me say this to you. On December 9th, 2024, do not be surprised when the number of your lawmakers are sanctioned by the United States for corruption, for pay-to-play, for bribing members of the House to orchestrate a coup d'etat of the first branch of government. Wait, some of you will take it for granted. Only idiots would ignore that. This is exactly what we warned you all about when the CDC folks were in power. We told them that sanctions were coming. They underestimated it. They said we were lying. I'm going to repeat myself. Do not be surprised when on December 9th of this year, World or International Anti-Corruption Day, December 9th, when you see a number of lawmakers engaged in the so-called removal of the speaker, when you see their names there, do not be surprised. Say you heard it from me first. I also want to say something to you. I am told that a cross-section of Liberians are organizing to protest, to demand that the lawmakers return to work, go to session. If you want to remove the speaker, you have the right. The Constitution makes it clear. The very Constitution you swore an oath to uphold makes it very, very clear. It says when you want to remove the speaker, you have the right to do so, but you must galvanize 49 votes to remove the speaker. You do not have 49 votes. You have to sit under his gavel until at such time you have mobilized the votes and you put your resolution on the floor and you give him due process and then you take a vote. When you take the vote and you cast your 49 vote against for his removal and it is passed, the speaker becomes removed from office. That is the Constitution. It is the law. But you decide to ignore that. You are staging a coup d'etat of the first branch of government. You are sabotaging the Liberian people's business just after you collected $45,000 US recently to buy vehicles for yourselves. This is unacceptable. I support the efforts by a cross-section of Liberians, civil society groups, and a number of people to protest against you. They have the right to do so. To the Liberian Senate, you're embarrassing the Senate. They go, the Senate, what is the Senate doing? The Senate is simply having meetings. That class meeting they're having. They're not having session. The Senate cannot work. We have a bicameral legislature. It means two bodies, the House and the Senate. They work in sync. So one of the units cannot function without the other. Cannot. They cannot function. And to you so-called rescue lawmakers, you say you support President Boakai, you support his arrest agenda, and in 9 months in office, you're trying to sabotage his government? That's what you're doing? By supporting an unconstitutional process to sabotage the administration? President Boakai has to send his budget. I'm not here to defend Joe Boakai. I'm not here to defend Joe Boakai. But if you say you support Joe Boakai and you want him to succeed, and he sends his budget, he's about to send his budget and other instruments that need legislative action, and you decide to gang up with some rogue elements from the CDC to cause chaos, this is absolute nonsense. And to you CDC people, you decide to ignore your political leader, George Weah. You decide to ignore your own party. And you CDC people back to you as a party. You all need to stop. It's so embarrassing. And like your child lives with you in the house. And then your child misbehaves. Then you blame your neighbor
for your child's misbehavior. Are you kidding me? You're blaming your neighbor for the misconduct of your child. That's what you're doing? You're seriously doing that? You are seriously doing that? You all should just stop. Let me tell you something. Jeremiah Koung, you know you have an America problem. What do I mean by an America problem? Do you know your vice president cannot go to America? Folks, do you all know that? Fellow Liberians, do you know that your vice president, you know he travels quite a lot. Have you ever seen him travel to America? He cannot go to America. He desperately wants to be president. He cannot go to America. You are vice president to a man who didn't even like you. Joseph Boakai went in bed with you because he wanted to win an election. You know, when he went to Carisburg that day and told us at Mr. U.S. place that we got to dance with the devil to win, you were the devil he was referring to. Like I said, what do I care? Nah, I don't need favor from any one of y'all. You were the devil. And he was right. He picked you because he wanted to get in, but he wanted to win. He made a political decision. But you've become an embarrassment for this man. You're too desperate for power. What kind of man are you? And you don't even know A from Bullfrog. And you're all over the place. Huh? You fighting this. And to you, the young people in the United Party, they've already formed Koung for presidency in the government. You're working for, and Joe Boakai knows this. To my friends, many of you, my young friends in the United Party, the young ones especially in the government, you work for Joe Boakai, but you've already shifted your loyalty to Jeremiah Koung because you believe that Jeremiah Koung is the heir apparent and he's going to be president, and you've already started to disrespect Joe Boakai. The other day, the president nearly fired Cornelia Crack in his office. She is a cheerleader for the Koung for president wing, the women wing. He nearly fired her just before he went to a room. When he found out that they are busy every Saturday, they go to Jeremiah Koung's house to eat dry rice with him. Because they think Jeremiah Koung is going to become president. You don't know the future. Joseph Boakai gave you a piece of job. You stay focused. You work. You deliver on the rescue agenda. But you are busy focusing on beyond Joe Boakai. The man gave you a job. Work for him now. Focus on the job he gave you. But you're already focusing on Jeremiah Koung because you believe that he's going to be president. And Jeremiah Koung is a dangerous guy. Everybody knows that. You're already fighting Yumli. You're fighting Dela on them. You know he's doing that? He's fighting everybody. This bugger went to one program the last time. The golden image thing that Julie Andy has. It was sometime this year. And the guy stands up there and he's saying to the people, I'm 45 years old. I can wait. Even the old man go for 20 years. What kind of rubbish you talking about? You go to a golden image award thing, you're already talking about you being president. When you're vice president, you sit in one corner, you put your hands between your legs, and you don't open your damn mouth. That's what you do. You all over the place. You all over the place. You're undermining your boss. And you know that he's mad at you. But then again, your boss must have known who he was working with. They say you get crowd more than they bereave. President knew who he was picking. Yeah, but I empathize with him, you know. I like the old man. He's preoccupied with trying to make something happen, fighting for the Liberian people, and all his people in UP are thinking about is beyond Joseph Boakai. My man, the man just became president. He ain't go 1 year yet. All you're thinking about is how you can succeed him, how you can remove speaker to put your own person there so you can control the budget and get richer through the budget. That's it? That's all you're concerned about? That is it? And then you Thomas Faladay. You another one who ain't no ear from Bullfrog. You talk about you won't be speaker. I saw you the other day with a gavel in your hand. Your subject and verb, one can be going low fire, the other one going to bombing. Eh? Then you sit down, you go restaurant on a long letter talking about you are dealing with the miasma of legal and political conundrum. Do you know what miasma means? M-I-A-S-M-A. Miasma means scent, the smell, a stench. So that what is smelling to you that's so bad that you say that what you're facing, talk about I'm dealing with the miasma of legal and political conundrum. Joe, we are calling you. I'm told you ignoring Joe, we are called. You, Thomas Fowler, today, that Joe, we are your maker, your savior on earth, that a man today you ignoring his call and you colluding and conniving with rogue elements from the government, the executive, from the ruling party to go against Joe, we are talking about you are facing the miasma of legal and political conundrum that ChatGPT wrote that thing for you. Because I bet you can't write that thing. Because you don't even know what miasma means. Miasma means the smell of something, the smell. What plan to remove speaker got to do with smell? Eh? I mean, all these boys, you always just sit and they say, the Congo people are in power, the Congo people spoil the country, the Congo people, but, yeah, and I can say this. So you will not accuse me of being a tribalist because I'm a part country man myself. Let me speak a little bit of Pele. But you country people, you are hell of a people, man. You are worse than the Congo people you used to condemn. You got all these country boys. I would say, I will put it that way. Call me a tribalist, but how can you call a country man a tribalist, right? Yeah. Huh? We gave the country boys $45,000 every 3 years to buy a car. Some of the heathens never could have bought themselves a car, let alone a brand new one. And today, these Sanaman swines are driving brand new cars, and they're thinking that now they can go. I saw my own Pele brother, that Jane Cole one. When he opened a mall, Jella he coming from Bono Zuetan. So Pele coming from that ball mall. He know A from Bullfrog. And that bugger was there talking all kinds of nonsense. And I said, look at the heathen. You bring the boy from Bonkante. Look at the other one, Clarence Guy. He calls himself Clarence Guy. This man is chairman on Public Accounts Committee. Do you know that Sanaman Swan already in this short period of time has exhausted $300,000 just for presiding over the budget hearings? 300,000 US for budget hearings. They say he bought one big hell of a car when he sit down inside he can yell like one dwarf. All these corny boys. Now all you care about. You just care about yourselves. That's all you care about. So the people who are protesting against you, they have the right to do so. And to all of you who are sitting on the sideline acting like you're not affected by this, you are affected by this nonsense these Sanaman swines are doing. Because when they don't pass the budget on time, it affects the economy. There's a ripple effect. Because the government is the single biggest spender in the economy. When the delay in the passage of the budget for the government to begin to spend, things were slow. The dry season, the Ministry of Public Works has $35 million to build roads. The dry season is about to begin in this month. They need our budget passed so they can do bids, procurement processes, award road projects. They need to do that. And these Sanaman swines are sleeping at RLJ. Somebody's paying for them to sleep there. And they have abandoned their fiduciary responsibility for which we pay them a colossal fortune in a country where most people are very, very poor. And this is unacceptable. And so this affects you. No matter how you think that it does not affect you, you are blind when you think that it does not, because it does. You need the government to function. You need the legislature to be in sync, to be whole, so that it functions, so that there can be correlation and synergy within the three branches of government. The Senate can do nothing without the House, and the vice versa. This is exactly what needs to happen. And these buggers can't just collect a omelette. Your girlfriend says she's coming to see you. And you send her money to pay her way to her car. You're waiting to the house for her. Then she can call you 1 hour later and say, hey, man, baby, I'm sorry, but I ain't able to come today. I'm not feeling all right. That's what these buggers said to us. They just collected vehicles, $45,000 a piece, and they said they ain't coming. Now, how many of you young men know that, right? You send for you Jew. You send her the car pay. Then she says she ain't coming. That's what the lawmaker just did on also. We just bought them brand new vehicles, Brand new vehicles. We give them the gas. They're still collecting pay. I'm told they're getting paid next week for work that they have not been doing. This is unacceptable. And let me tell you something. I had said I would be quiet, but on this particular issue, if I'm going to come here again and again, if I'm going to help lead the protest effort, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to get involved because this is absolute nonsense. That what I just pulled up on us. How many of you young men especially, haven't you sent money to your Jew and then she got the money, she didn't come. That is exactly what these buggers have done. They pull a heist on us and they're refusing to go to work. The lawmakers say our money, they won't go to work. That's what they've done. And they get hurt. You see, it's relatable. Y'all can relate to that one. You say you Jew money, the Jew gang, huh? Oh, the guys can relate. Now you can understand. I have to put it in a way, use a metaphor so that you can understand it. That is what these buggers have done. You want to remove the speaker? The law is clear. It says 49 votes. Put your resolution on the floor. However frivolous or serious they may be, put it on the floor, give him the opportunity to have due process consistent with law, and when it is exhausted, then you vote. If these Sama swines do not go to work and sit in the one chamber where they always sit and put their resolution on the floor with their 49 votes, I will join this protest action. I will join this protest. That nonsense you're doing to RLJ, then you go to the other place there, you go sit down there, then you take picture, then you go back. The Supreme Court, for Christ's sake, said, we put a stay order. Do not move until you come before us on Monday the 4th. You say, to hell with the Supreme Court. Who the hell are you? You don't have to like the Supreme Court, but this is what this country is built on. The rule of law. The rule of law. Who the hell are you? You make noise when it comes to your damn entitlements. The emoluments you're entitled to. You grumble until you have them. When you got them, then you do not do what you should do. It is unacceptable. Watch out. December 9th. World Anti-Corruption Day. Some of you will be sanctioned. Your challenge, Jeremiah Koung. See whether he can go to America. Koung, you're in a deeper trouble with the Americans. People trust you way even less now. You're a dangerous, desperate young man. I see some of you talking about he envies Koung. Why the hell should I envy him? I am a brilliant, well-endowed, sophisticated man. I'm 42 years old. I have a whole life ahead of me. Why should I envy somebody who ain't no A from Beaufort, who has only managed to catapult himself to where he is through wheeling and dealing? Why should I envy such a man? I'm talking about what he's doing to my country and to what he's doing to his boss, undermining his own boss. And some of you around the president, look, one of the things I noticed about President Boakai when I was with him is that he's slow to act, but he's sure. Koung believed that he was going to get his boss around this coup. You plan a coup. You plan a coup. You won't tell your boss. And then your boss comes to the country. Then you think you go get Joe Boakai, the man that will follow you to support your coup? Does it look like somebody that will follow you to support your coup? So I say to you, I will close up very, very soon. But let me say this to you. These people need to understand that they are not above the law. You are not above the law. And to those of you, my friends, in the Unity Party, the way you were gapping for 6 years, Joe Boakai, by the grace of God, became president, you got a job. You better focus on your job. That papa got dirty way. He will fire you. Yeah. Joe Boakai, that small dirty way you got, you must be sitting out there. You're focusing on Jeremiah Koung. You work for Joe Boakai. He is the president of the republic. He appointed you. Focus on his agenda. Jeremiah Koung is not president and might not be president. Focus on the president's agenda. Deliver for the Liberian people. What kind of desperation is that? And like you in one relationship, you already trying to create another one. Stay in that one. Let it run its course. Give it the best you can. If it doesn't fit, if it doesn't work, then you can try to jump to another one. That is what you should do. But all of y'all focusing on the man who you think will be in power much longer than Joe Boakai. You don't know the future. You do not. So you better focus on the job you got now and protect it and help to deliver on Joe Boakai's agenda. You only got 5 years old. Let me tell you something. This year finished. 2024 is done. You have only 5 years left. Just sit down there. Anti-Koffa will not be removed as speaker because the law is on his side, because President Boakai does not support the coup effort masterminded and orchestrated by his vice president, Prince Moi, and several elements, among them, top on the list, Thomas Fala. Anti-Koffa will be the first speaker to survive a coup d'etat. The first speaker. The first speaker. He will be the first speaker. And Jeremiah Koung, sit down there and think that when you're vice president, you can't move. You know what just happened in Kenya? Regati Gagashua or something. He was just removed as vice president. William Ruto's vice president, they came to power in 2022. They just removed him. And when you look at it, the reasons for which he was removed, they are nowhere near as egregious as some of the things that you already engaged in. And let me tell you something, Jeremiah Koung, what you may know, but I will say it publicly. The people around the president do not trust you, especially because you are so desperate and greedy for power. The people who truly love Joe Boakai, who are closest to him, do not trust you. Because all you're doing, you're focused on power. That's all you're doing, rather than supporting your boss to deliver to the Liberian people. That's all you care about. They don't even trust you around the president. They don't have a choice. They got to work with you because you're vice president, but they don't trust you. They don't like you because you're not a good person. And now, with this a little coup effort that's going to fail, you've caused people to trust you even less because you've a desperation, your brazen and patent stupidity to think that you can pull off something like this. Now, folks, I'm going to stop here. We're going to follow this thing. We're going to see what happens next week. I support the protest effort. I will make my financial contribution to it as well. And if need be, I will join them on the front line to protest against these crooks who feel themselves entitled to behave whatever way they like. I will join them if I have to, but this nonsense has to stop. Thank you. God bless you. And may God save the state.